How can you survive and thrive in a real estate economy where fewer transactions are happening? In today's video, that is exactly the topic that we're going to discuss. I'm going to share with you 3 tips, 3 things that I think are super relevant to help you succeed during this challenging real estate time. Take a look. Hey everyone, Kevin Smullin with 2Q Lead Generation Strategies. If you are new to our channel, welcome. We're glad you're here. What we're all about is helping real estate agents just like you generate more leads, set more appointments, and close more deals. So if that is what you're after, this is absolutely the place to be. Please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here as part of our community. Down in the description below, you will find a link for a free training that we call the 4 Pillars of Success. It is the best practices of what we've seen that will help people find more success with their social media marketing. So it's a free series of videos. Go check that out. It is time well spent. Now, in today's video, what we are talking about is the topic of, in today's changing real estate market, how can you still find success and do transactions in an economy and in a situation where fewer transactions are taking place? A lot of the thoughts that I'm going to share with you today come from a conversation that I had with a real estate agent yesterday. And as we were talking, he asked me the question and he said, Kevin, what are you seeing? What would you advise somebody to do in today's market? So with that being said, there are 3 things that I would recommend that will help you find success as you approach this real estate market. So the first thing is, before I get into that, one quick note, and that is at the end of today's video, if you stick around, I'm going to be sharing a special offer, something that I don't normally do, and so make sure you go check that out. So the 3 things that I would advise is, number 1, you want to make sure that you are still marketing. So the trend, and here's where a lot of this comes from. When I was in the real estate market back in 2008, 2009, the last time we had a very significant downturn, I know a lot of agents who couldn't survive, and so they ended up getting out of the business because they couldn't make a living. And at the same time, I also know agents who grew their business and expanded during that time. And the agents that I know who grew their business during that time period, I'm going to share with you the 3 things that I saw them do. And hopefully you can take these, adapt it, and make it work for your situation. So the first thing is they continued to market. In today's economy, as fewer transactions are happening, I see so many agents who are making the mistake of pulling back on their marketing. They're like, Kevin, I just don't have the budget for this. Well, that's one way of looking at it. But the other way I would tell you to look at it is, quite frankly, you can't afford not to be marketing during this time. That's just the blunt, honest truth. So in a time like this, where more and more agents are pulling back from the very thing that helps them do business, this is the time you really need to be pouring it on. So not only will it help you continue to stay relevant and stay in front of the people who are going to be buying or selling, the other thing that's important about it is you can gain market share during this time, at a time when other people are pulling back. See, with so much of marketing, especially in the social media space, which I talk a lot about, in social media, what you end up paying typically is what's called a cost per impression, meaning you're paying every time the ad is shown. But the part that's not spoken of as much is Facebook and Instagram. They work off of an auction system, meaning the more advertisers there are in any specific industry or any specific niche, the more you will pay per impression. So as the number of advertisers in an industry goes down, so does your cost per impression, because there are fewer people competing for those advertising spots, right? So not only can your dollars go further in today's market, but they can go further in today's market because fewer people are advertising. See, you really want to take a contrarian mindset right now. You want to be doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing. So as everybody else is pulling back and scaling back and saying, I can't afford it, you really need to double down and you will see tremendous gains. So the first thing that I saw for people who were consistently growing their business was, number 1, they continued marketing. In fact, in many cases, they even increased what they were doing previously. The second thing that will make a massive difference in the people that I saw that grew their business is they had a database of people. Now, if you're sitting there going, Kevin, I don't have a database, I haven't been marketing to a database, that is not an opportunity for you to tune out to what I'm about to say. You've got to realize that one of the massive benefits of social media is that if you don't have a database or an audience, we can build that up very, very quickly. So in that situation, you want to make sure that you're growing your database as you're doing this. So your database, your audience, you can almost use those two words interchangeably. But if you don't have an audience or don't have a database, you can build one very quickly. One of the things that I have seen over and over again is that you can shoot a video that's informational and have that information be pushed out to a brand new group of people through Facebook or Instagram ads. And as they watch the video, it's almost like self-selecting the people that you know who are more interested in what you're talking about for the next video. So I've seen people grow audiences where it's costing them anywhere between 5 to 10 cents per person. And it's not just 5 to 10 cents per person, and these aren't just random people. We know they're interested because they're spending time watching the video. They've watched 25% of it or 50% of it. Again, you can put different metrics on there, but the point of it is you can build up an audience for mere pennies. So if you wanted to build up an audience of, say, 1,000 people, and you know that there are 1,000 interested people because they're spending the time to watch it, and it's costing you 10 cents a piece, it's going to cost you around $100 to build up an audience of 1,000 interested people, right? It's crazy how inexpensive this is. But yet so many people are just in that mindset of, I can't afford it. Again, go back to point number one. Frankly, my advice to you for the people that I see that grow their business during times like these is they view it as, I can't afford not to. So the second part of this success of what I see people do that it's working is growing their audience, right? Growing their database. If you like that book, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, again, whether you like the book or not, it doesn't really matter to me. But one of the principles he talks about in there frequently is the principle of repetitive marketing, right? Just marketing to people over and over again. In fact, he talks in there how if they have at least 12 touch points in a year, that what they've seen historically over time is that for every 50 people that they market to 12 times a year, there's realistically one transaction that comes from that. Now, in an economy like ours, where prices have gone up and interest rates are high and people are having a hard time qualifying, right? You've got to take the stance of maybe instead of a 50 to 1 ratio, maybe it's more like 100 to 1 or 150 to 1. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but if it's taking more contacts to generate that one transaction, it's just it's the cost of doing business in today's market. So you want to be that agent who's putting out valuable information. Hey, here's ways that we can combat the high interest rates. More sellers today are willing to negotiate. There aren't the bidding wars that there used to be. You need to be that source of information to educate people to overcome those obstacles that are keeping them from moving forward in today's market. And you'll find that if you take that stance, being the person, the expert who's educating people, and you're using your marketing budget to push that message out, you'll see success from that. The third thing that I've seen people do that will help them generate success in a changing real estate market is to adapt with the market. So that's the third thing, is the people that I saw that grew their business during the last recession these were people that changed their business model. So some of them started going after commercial deals because the commercial real estate market doesn't necessarily follow the residential real estate market. Some of them changed their business to where they got really good at short sales or foreclosures. Some of them shifted and started working with investors because in any market, there's always investors with money looking for a great deal. Again, they just shifted their business model to what they were doing and found a niche where they were still doing business, right? In a shifting market, you've just got to change your mindset and do things differently. So in today's market and in today's economy, those are the three things that I see that help people not only survive during this type of a situation, but they thrive. They double down on their marketing. They make it a priority. They increase their database or the audience that they're marketing to, and they just repetitively do it. And number three, they adapt and shift what they're doing to cater to probably an area of the business that was neglected before, or maybe you just didn't put a lot of emphasis there. But those are the three things that I really see that are helping people grow their business, or at least stay in business during challenging times like these. You and I know in today's market where there's fewer transactions, there's going to be a lot of agents who don't have the foundation in their business or the experience to be able to survive. And it's sad and it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things where, again, there's opportunities with every challenge. And so you just have to have that mindset of, I can find ways to make this work. Now, one of the things that I mentioned I was going to offer is I don't usually do this with videos. They're usually not a huge sales pitch. I just want this to be information. But I want to make sure that you've got options available that are going to be very affordable. So I have an online course. It's our entire Facebook and Instagram marketing system called the Revolutionary Agent. It's normally priced at $9.97 for the next week. So I'm going to go through. We'll go through November 4th. I'm just looking at my calendar. So we'll go through November 4th, and normally where this program is $9.97, I'm going to include it for $4.97. That is half price. Now, couple bonuses that are going to come with that. This is the part where I don't normally do this. So number one, if you buy that course, all the other courses that we have, I will throw in. So our TAMS course, our Facebook Buyer Lead Boot Camp, the Best Year Ever program, all of those will be part of that bundle. And then this is the part that I normally don't ever offer is inside that program, I will also include a half-hour consulting session with me. This is not a sales pitch. I'm basically just going to say, what do you want to know? We'll spend that time strategizing. I'll teach you whatever it is you want to know, and you get a half hour of my time for free as part of that program. So for the $4.97, you get the online, the Revolutionary Agent course, all the other courses that we offer, and a half-hour consulting session with me. So if you're interested, I will put a link down in the description. Go check that out. Again, that is only going to be available through November 4th, so make sure you take action on that. That is it. That is today's video. Make it a great week. Keep crushing it in your real estate business. As always, if we can help, let us know. Otherwise, we will see you on the next video. Take care.